So we are in the house that we're building here in Cape Coral. This is part of our development company, one of the LLCs. We've come down on our international visa here, like our U.S. visa, E2 investment visa. And so we're well into production here. If you kind of see, it's all framed, roofs in, sheathed. It's got the membrane on the actual roof, so we're dried in now. They did the interior framing, and then this week here we're going to get all the mechanicals done between electrical, plumbing, and HVAC. So we should get this moving. And to be honest, we started this project less than a month ago, and as you can see, we're already in a home, which is quite amazing.
Yeah, that's how fast this is going. And I've seen people build houses like from the peripheral before, but the amount of detail that you're putting into just every part of this process is pretty crazy.
Yeah, most definitely. Obviously, we want to have a good product. We want to deliver a good product. Like we just went to go look at that kitchen, which we have an opportunity to get, which is a lot less expensive than the other product that we were originally connected to. You save money like $2,000 to $3,000, but and again, that's probably like 25%, let's call it, if you put it in percentage form, but it's not a quality product where it's something you're going to be happy with. And you know what? You're going to regret it, because after, when buyers are showing the property, they're going to pay top dollar for it. They're going to look at this, inferior kitchen, which is basically the soul of the property of the home, right? If you kind of skimp out on the kitchen, you've really screwed your product up pretty bad. You can do it on other items in the house that's not too much in your face, but the kitchen needs to be like just the jewel of the property.
If you're trying to charge a certain price, you got to get all those kind of ducks in a row.
Most definitely. And is this for the Canadian group, for the international? Yeah. So I think I just want to kind of put it out there too I know there's a lot of Canadians out there that are trying to move to the United States and they don't know what to do. Like currently, this has been my dream my entire life. Like if you know my background, I was in construction at 19 years old, or 21 rather, about eight years before I got into selling real estate. So the whole goal at 19 years old was to basically build houses. And to be honest, in Canada, we didn't have an opportunity to do it. We always chased. Again, we did extremely well in real estate. We sold in high volume. It wasn't like we were selling real estate as a hobby. We did, 40, 50 transactions a year. We're still high production there in Canada and also in the US. But so the money was there for investment, but we could never get it to a certain point. So we ended up buying land. We've assembled land. We built, assembled projects to build 14 townhouses. Could never get it off the ground. Why? Red tape. Either the development costs were too high, material costs were too high, either the market tanked, we couldn't get it on the market. It's just always delay. And then we bought another property. We subdivided the two lots and figured this would be a good opportunity for us, because instead of building 14 townhouses, which was $4 million, we can get to something smaller where it's like we can build each property for under $1 million. And then the market tanks again. So then we're chasing it. So I've just had enough of like chasing what I really want to do in life. So the good thing about here in the US, like we came off the ground. Like I've only been in the country since it'll be 2 years in October. We started this endeavor, let's say October of 2023, looking for property, because I'm building up my real estate company, sales company, and then my property management company. And now we're moving on to the development side. And then after this, we're going to move into the real estate investment trust, like where we gather money, we start buying projects, and we start either owning them or flipping them with multiple like limited partnerships with other investors, let's say. But anyway, so we got off the ground, and it's been less than 7 months, and we're already building, which is insane. We have our beautiful sign out there, Treviso Homes LLC, which hits home because that's like where my father's from. So this is all very meaningful project to us. It's not just for the money. This is for a dream come true in a sense, right?
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. What's the major benefit that you've noticed, like as opposed to building up north, building down here? Is it just a whole easier process?
I think the difference here is you guys are like still behind in a sense of like Toronto's, the unions and the red tape with the, the city and development charges and the land values. It just doesn't make sense anymore. Because now you remember, you like, for example, where I bought land, we bought houses like to tear down. So we bought houses for $500,000 just for the land, just to tear down. For here we can buy a lot for $100,000 and go.
Yeah.
So the profits are not very large here, let's just say, but the return on capital is. So we'll be probably making between, if everything works out, low point 25% return on capital and 31% return on initial capital invested, which is big money. So you're making a 30% return on your capital invested, which is huge. And that's the whole point here. You're going to build in volume rather than up north where you might build one and you might make 300 to 500 grand in a great market. But the problem with that is you're making a big profit. The only thing is, it's like everything just, it's almost like a wildfire where prices kept getting higher and higher and higher, and you're just bidding the buyer out of it. At least here you have an opportunity where, at the height of the market, these were, I think, up like 40 or 50 grand up from today's market value. So it's like 10 or 15% lower than, let's say, the height of market of 2022. So it's not like an extremely, a huge margin. So instead, back in Toronto, a 30% margin was like $500,000.
Yeah.
Like 500K versus like 50. So here the buyer still has an opportunity. Also, as a builder, you can keep the flow because it's such a small margin where the correction is so small. It's fine. Yeah. Where you can still buy land. Like clearly when this is close to completion, I'm hoping to sell this prior to like finishing the home. So we have a buyer lined up, contract signed, earnest money in the bank account. And then we're going to buy the lots next door. We're going to go right away. Like any capital earned here, it's going to be reinvested. We're not looking to, better a lifestyle or anything like that. This is to create a real business. So it's one property in 24, 3 in 25, 5 in 26, and 10 in 27. And then we were going to go to 60.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like are you going to let outside investors in on the next one, or are you just going to keep doing it yourselves?
I think we're going to go as long as we can by ourselves, to be honest. I think that's the goal. But, the good thing is we're down here, there's opportunities. So we can't fund everything. We don't have the money, clearly.
Yeah.
So, we're going to raise capital. That's the fourth LLC that we've came on. We made the agreement with the U.S. consulate, the U.S. government, let's say, that we're on 4 LLCs, and they're like sleepers. So the first one was real estate office, second one was property management company, third one was development, building homes, and the fourth one's going to be the real estate investment trust, like the REITs, where, like, again, we gather money from outside and then we buy projects. And with that one, I want to do is more like not put a shovel in the ground. So it's like buying land, repurposing, and selling it. So that might be like a two year, like, you stash your cash for 2 years, but the payout's pretty large once like a developer buys it and they're willing to put a shovel in the ground.
Yeah.
So that's going to fuel more of this. So we want to get this to like a nice flow where it's consistent. And again, I want to have employees in place of everything. Cause if you kind of see the chaos
it's a lot.
How many hats? It's like 20 hats a day we're wearing.
You've done this so fast though. Like you said, 2 years, and you're like
in October, yeah.
Like that's amazing how fast you've got all this stuff up and going.
Yeah.
I mean, most people don't get this stuff done in a lifetime.
And it's not fast enough. Like we're like on we're on a rampage, and clearly we don't want to over leverage ourselves. That's why we're very cautious. To me, this is longer than what it should be, but it's because we're working very diligently towards it, but also making the right decisions. So in my mind, it's slow, and on the outside, it looks quick, but it's like. People.
At your pace, it's slow, but you're doing things the right way, like
100%. But it's also being very efficient with your time, because people look at it from the outside like we're just throwing things everywhere. No, this is like hours upon hours. When people are sleeping, we're working. When people are vacationing, we're still working. When people are like hanging out, we're thinking. So it's just a constant like bereavement of just trying to better the situation and fast track it. I just feel like, especially I'm trying to catch up, let's just say, because I always felt like in Canada, we're behind the 8 ball. Mm-hmm. Can never get ahead of it. It's the craziest thing. Doesn't matter what we did. And remember, you want to talk about money earned, like commissions, $700,000-$800,000 a year. It wasn't like we made substantial amount of money, and my lifestyle is not there. Like, I'm good with a bucket of KFC. Like I have and a light beer. Like that's me, right? Like, so, so but you can never get ahead of the 8 ball. It's just weird as hell. Now what I find, like I talked to my wife about it, it's like we've created finally multiple streams of income, even though they're smaller streams currently right now. Like property management, it's not a very profitable business, but it's money earned, Like if my wife does an a la carte visit and it's $150, like, it's not a lot, but I love the fact that we're creating money out of nothing. That's it. To me, that's encouraging, where now you're having, like, let's say 3 sources of income here, and then still 1 back up north. So you're 4 sources of income plus, once we get into the REIT, you'll have 5 sources of income coming in.
Just establishing them in the first place. That's the hard part.
That's what it is. And you can see the trouble. We found you, thank God. Like you're like a dream to be on, like
I appreciate it.
Yeah, part of the team. It's like amazing. But you're seeing the struggles with finding like like a personal assistant. Like we went through 3 of them already.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, it's fast paced, what we need, and it's just,
yeah, people, they phase out, they fizzle. Yeah.
But, we got to just keep our heads down, keep doing what we're doing. I think this time next year, there's going to be, 3 or 4 houses like this being built. Should be a beautiful thing.
100%. I think the goal for me, like eventually, if Mike can get down here, would be great in the next couple of years. If it gets to a certain point where it's unmanageable by one person, and just quarterback everything from the office.
Yeah.
I would like. I think I've come to that part of my life where it's just staying at the office and quarterbacking everything. I get so much more done at the office, answering calls and putting things into motion than being out in the field. Like still now, obviously we're selling houses, so I have to be out on the showings and then the listings. So I have all that going on like a proper business. But at the same time, if I can remain in the office and quarterback everything, I think that's where the money's going to be. And it'll be endless too, just based on the systems that we're creating. Because once we get a good team back at the office, like a full complete team, it'll be great. Like
that's
a buyer's agent and a personal assistant. Like the next 2 hires need to be, if that's one hire like that has both of those, like
I'm sure we could find it. There's somebody out there.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I just want to give y'all hope. I use the word y'all now. Give y'all hope back up north that your dreams can come true, and it's no bullshit. This is not any Instagram post. Nothing's polished. This is all straightforward. You got to work hard. Clearly, if you want to come to the U.S., this is not a vacation. You gotta bust your ass every day. And but ultimately, the opportunities here. This is what the great thing is when you feel like you're actually moving with the wind, like your sails have wind behind them rather than you going against a storm. It makes things a lot easier. But thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, please reach out.